I was folding laundry in the dim light of the laundry room when the notification popped up on my phone. A simple text from her: "I can't wait for tonight. I miss you already." It wasn't the message that stopped me, it was the number. Not my wife's. My stomach dropped like a stone, and I couldn't breathe. My wife was cheating. She'd just sent the proof to the wrong person. We'd built a life together, my wife, Emma, and I. It hadn't always been easy, nothing worth keeping ever is, but I'd thought we were solid. Married for 5 years, no children yet, though we talked about them plenty. We had dreams, dinner parties with friends, beach vacations, growing old in the house we were still making a home. But something had always felt off. A shift I couldn't pinpoint, like a shadow hanging over the happy moments, lurking in the corners of our shared space. Still, I ignored the nagging feeling. We all have our moments of doubt in relationships, right? It happened one Tuesday night. Emma was working late, as usual. She'd been busy a lot lately. At first, I thought it was her new project at work. But when I reached for her phone on the couch, it wasn't curiosity that made my hand hesitate. It was a strange feeling, a sinking in my gut that had grown steadily over the past few months. I don't know why I looked at her phone that night. Maybe it was the way she kissed me goodbye, too quick, too distracted. Or maybe it was the coldness I'd felt between us. I opened her messages without any plan, no particular reason except that something didn't feel right. I found what I wasn't looking for. The text. The one from someone I didn't recognize. I scrolled through, heart pounding as each message confirmed what I refused to believe: Emma had been seeing someone else. Not just talking to someone, but meeting them. The intimacy in their words, it was unmistakable. I scrolled back, rereading the last one. It was the one that had been sent to the wrong number. "I can't wait for tonight. I miss you already." My heart nearly stopped. Who was she texting? I could hardly think straight. My world began to spin. I'm not proud of the next few minutes. My hands trembled as I typed the number into my own phone. A name appeared. I stared at it. Luke Daniels. Who the hell was Luke Daniels? The text had been intended for him, but it was sent to me. I don't know how long I stood there, phone in hand, frozen. The weight of it hit me in waves. Emma had been unfaithful. My wife, the woman I trusted, had betrayed me in the most brutal way possible. I could feel the disbelief gnawing at me, eating away at any sense of self-control. My breath was ragged, my chest tight. The world felt like it was collapsing around me. How could she do this to me? How long had it been going on? All I had were questions and a sinking realization that I was living a lie. I had to confront her. But not yet. I spent the next few days watching her. And each time I did, the lies became clearer. She was cold. Distant. Her affection, once so genuine, now felt hollow. She came home late, never shared details of her day, and when I tried to touch her, she pulled away, her smile strained. It was as though she'd already checked out. But I wasn't going to confront her like a fool. I needed proof. Real proof. I started digging into her phone. It was like watching a train wreck in slow motion, but I couldn't stop. I found more texts, some that made my stomach churn with disgust. Secret meetups. Trips she claimed were business but weren't. Hotel receipts in her email. The affair wasn't a rumor, it was real. The pain was suffocating, but I held it in. I was calculating now. I wasn't going to let my emotions dictate the next steps. Instead of confronting her, I decided to follow the thread of the secret life she had hidden from me. I hired a private investigator. His name was Frank. A guy who had the sharp eyes and cold demeanor of someone used to tracking people who didn't want to be found. He gave me a report a week later, one that confirmed everything. I kept my distance. I knew what I had to do. There was no room for mistakes. the affair wasn't just a few months old. It had been going on for almost a year, and this Luke, he wasn't just some random guy. He was a coworker, someone she'd become close to during business trips. Someone she had fallen for. Someone who had stolen her from me. I learned where he worked, what car he drove, even where he lived. Every detail added fuel to the fire, and yet, there was a calmness that came with knowledge. I wasn't blindly hurt anymore. I was prepared. I set a plan into motion. I would confront Emma, but not until I had everything. The day I decided to confront her, it wasn't in the privacy of our home. It was at a party. A dinner party at her friend Sarah's house. I knew she'd be there. I'd made sure of it. It was the perfect place for a revelation, where people were gathered, and secrets were harder to keep. I walked into the living room, the chatter and laughter of our friends around us. But none of that mattered. All I could hear was the pounding of my heart as I spotted Emma standing with Luke. They were talking, laughing, and their body language was so wrong, too comfortable, too familiar. I took a deep breath, and as I walked toward them, the words came to me, icy and controlled. Emma, we need to talk. Right now. Her eyes flickered with uncertainty, a crack in her perfect mask. Luke glanced at her, then at me. His face drained of color. He knew. Emma swallowed hard, a panicked glance shooting across the room. Not here, she whispered. Oh, but here is exactly where you'll answer my questions, I said, my voice cutting through the room like a knife. Before she could protest, I turned to the group of friends nearby. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid I have an announcement. It seems my lovely wife has been living a double life. I've just been informed that she's been having an affair with none other than Luke Daniels, right here. I gestured toward him. Gasps filled the room. The air grew thick with tension, and I felt the power surge through me. How long, Emma? How long has this been going on? Her face was pale now, and Luke stood there, looking like he had just been hit by a truck. She tried to speak, but the words caught in her throat. I wasn't done yet. You lied to me for a year. You told me you were working late, when all along, you were with him. And you sent me that text, didn't you? I held up my phone, the damning message in plain view. Emma's eyes darted to Luke, then back to me. Her voice trembled. I never meant for you to find out like this. Too bad, I said coldly. But you did. And now, everyone knows. There were no tears, no apologies. Emma tried to spin the narrative, playing the victim, but I wasn't buying it. As she stumbled over her words, Luke tried to interject, but I wasn't interested in his excuses either. Here's what's going to happen, I said, my voice steady and unwavering. I'm walking away from this marriage. You'll get nothing. The house, the cars, everything we built together, it's mine. And as for you, Emma, I hope you're ready for the fallout. The room was silent. Emma's face crumpled as the weight of my words sank in. Luke just stood there, eyes wide, probably wishing he could disappear. I turned and walked out, my heart pounding, but in a strange way, lighter than it had been in months. The divorce was swift. Lawyers were involved, and everything moved quickly. The house, the cars, even some of our friends, everything I'd ever thought was a foundation for our life together was gone. But I didn't feel the emptiness I thought I would. I felt free. Over the following months, I rebuilt. I spent time with family, focused on my work, and allowed myself to feel the anger and sadness before moving forward. I didn't just get my revenge, I found my strength again. I learned to trust myself more than I'd ever trusted anyone else. I guess there's a lesson in all of this: betray. Al isn't the end of your story, it's just the moment you get to write a new one. And this time, it's my chapter.